Very, very lovely. Welcome to That Pedal Show. Mick here.
Adam here.
Hello. No Dan today. He's had something he's had to go and deal with. Child related, I think. But anyway, Adam, what a pleasure to have you back on the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here and the token Australian on this side.
Yeah, he looks a bit different this week, right? Yeah. Sounds kind of similar.
Yeah.
I said as we were warming up, I will never get tired of your groove, mate. Your time and your groove is just lovely. So thank you. Was that a piece? A piece that you normally play, one of your songs?
Yeah. That's one of my tunes. Sometimes I open a show with it, but it's from an album nearly 9 years ago or something now. It's with a band actually, but it's called Sleep, something I haven't had much of this week, so it's kind of a good reminder.
Adam's been on the show once before. I'll put the whenever that was. Can you remember when it was? A year ago, 2 years ago?
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, time has just become...
Time is a magazine.
Who knows what happens? And Adam's coming back through the UK at the moment. And also stick around to the end of the show because we've got a nice little surprise, I hope. Our friend John Smith's going to be joining us as well because you've been hanging out with him.
We've been hanging out, talking gear. We probably should have just done it here, but, you know, that's what happens when you're musicians. You kind of just get together and talk about gear. And sometimes play music together, but you tend to talk about gear more.
Yeah, it's the same.
Or the industry, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody mentioned the F word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes that way, doesn't it? So the sort of theme of today's show is Adam does a lot of touring solo, right?
Yeah, solo and trio and internationally and on a budget.
Yeah. So what happens when you're on your own? And today we're going to talk a little bit about acoustic guitar because I first came across you as an acoustic artist.
Yeah, for sure.
Primarily before the electric stuff. So we can cover a bit of that ground, talk about all that thorny stuff that we struggle with as if you've ever taken acoustic guitar to a gig, things like pickups, amplification, monitoring and all of that and how you get around it. Yeah. And then we'll get into some electric guitar stuff as well because it's lovely to hear you play electric.
Well, thank you. Yes, and I do love playing it because it kind of solves all these issues in a way, but still it's nice to play an acoustic guitar.
I gotta say, man, as an opening gambit, I'm sat here wondering why anyone moans because it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, so it is. I think the problem with acoustic guitar most of the time, well, there's multiple problems.
Yeah, of course.
Let's get into it. So like one is that the instrument is flawed to amplify in the first place and to sound natural. You've got so many different variables with stages and venues you're playing. Also, the reality of context. Context plays a huge part in how you would go about amplifying an acoustic guitar anyway, and where you're playing and who you're playing with.
In terms of if you're on a concert stage or if you're in the corner of an art gallery.
Yeah, or if you're in a band or if you're playing solo or what you can get away with. And then also just... I don't know, I just feel like the acoustic guitar has just been forgotten as far as evolving the amplification of it. Like some companies have worked on it, but it's still complex and it still requires some understanding of acoustics and engineering, I think, to make it work all the time really well.
Yeah, because I remember you saying last time one of the reasons you'd one of the reasons you play electric more was because it was quite dispiriting carrying an acoustic guitar around.
And then it sounded bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was kind of the thing. It just took me that way that I would plug an electric guitar in. Even if you played it direct into a DI, let's forget about modeling.
Yeah.
Like it actually just translated better than sometimes what. And yes, then you've got the issue of arguing with sound guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or girls.
Yeah.
Sound people,
yeah. And I suppose we can trace that back to the sort of beginning of amplifying acoustic guitars because back before all of this, when it was all fields, before the internet, before any of that, it used to be that acoustic guitars tend to be amplified using what was called a contact pickup. So you'd stick something on the top of the guitar or underneath. This is like way back in the day, right? And then some bright spark invented the piezoelectric undersaddle pickup. And for me anyway, that's where all the problems begin.
Yeah, that is a huge part of the issue and the way it's sensing the top of the guitar and what you're hearing. And there are ways to kind of process things and evolve your pickup system to make that work. But it just kind of depends on context. And that, that's a huge part of it, I think. But I hear bad acoustic guitar sounds all the time and I'm so sad about it.
Literally all the time.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you've done to mitigate that then? Because there are, you might want to look at a more modern guitar solution, like one of those sort of semi-hollow body type things like a Chet Atkins SST or right through to an Acoustasonic. Yeah. But you're actually traveling with a full-bodied acoustic guitar.
Yeah. So little history. You know, I grew up in Australia where the industry standard for acoustic guitarists is Tommy Emmanuel.
Yeah.
And the industry standard for acoustic guitars is a Maton.
Maton, yeah.
And so they are a pretty amazing pickup system. And so they work differently. I was hoping I'd actually be able to bring a Maton today. I do play one a little bit now when I have to play louder, which is where they are good for. This system that I have in this guitar, which we'll get to, is great for solo guitar, but it is sometimes volatile if I'm playing with other people.
Okay.
And that's kind of all the compromise of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Maton system, one of the big things about it is it has an under-saddle pickup, but it's not the standard idea. It's like 6 millimeter cylindrical piezo crystals that go through the top of the guitar.
Okay.
So they're under each string.
I didn't know this.
So when you pull out a Maton saddle, I'm just going to switch this off. So I have microphones in my guitar and all I'm hearing is it coming back.
Well, explain that in a minute. Yeah. I'm excited to know what's in there because it does really sound good.
Yeah. So the Maton system, it's the palathetic thing. It was in early Takamines as well.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And so essentially it's like under each string are these giant crystals that go through the top of the guitar and then a tension by screws with I don't fully understand what it is, but I think it's the plate that charges in like positive or negative to create an electrical current, and that drives it into the saddle. So they have screws either side. The Takamines did, the Matons do, and people think they're to adjust action, but if you adjust it, the pickup just falls out.
Right. Okay. So that's what that is.
But so what's cool about that system is that it's a combination of an undersaddle and almost like the soundboard transducers, because it's going through the top of the guitar.
Yeah. It's not just that thin strip between the bridge and the wood of the bridge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it destroys the guitar somewhat. Like you're putting a whole lot of stuff on the top of the guitar. But that's kind of the industry standard in Australia. And then that led to Cole Clark guitars, who I was actually heavily involved with for a long time as well.
Oh, okay.
And they did some pretty cool things with their design where they have then crossover elements and multiple sources picking up at different frequencies, like a hi-fi speaker.
Yes, yeah. I have vague recollections of all this from my guitar magazine days, but it's a long time ago.
And it's confusing too because it's really hard to understand it all unless someone explains it through it with you.
Well, that's why you're here.
Yes, but the whole the idea of in Australia you do those, and I feel like gigs are just way louder in Australia. So when you're playing acoustic guitar, you're playing pretty loud.
Thank you, Australia.
If you're playing in the corner of a pub, you're playing pretty loud. So so your acoustic guitar has to kind of translate that way. And they always sounded better than, the Martins and Taylors coming into the country. And so and they're substantially cheaper as well.
Yes.
Because they're made in Australia.
Did that development sort of go hand in hand with Tommy and Maton then?
Totally,
yeah.
Yeah, so like Tommy...
he plays loud, right?
Yeah, exceptionally loud.
Yeah.
So, Tommy... I think approached Maton with trying to develop a pickup that had a microphone in it.
Yeah, okay.
So it would sound more natural and that it could hear the body of his guitar sort of playing a little bit better. And so I spent years playing those instruments as well. And it's, it just kind of developed. And then I just wanted to play better acoustic guitars and work out ways to do it without sort of putting lots of things in the guitar.
Yeah.
So
where did you get to then?
So this is kind of like, I'm pretty happy with this now. I would, I'd probably love to design something myself eventually, but I also am a professional touring musician.
Anyone out there listening?
So this is essentially like taking all those ideas that I've had and putting them into a guitar. This isn't that complex. It's a mono output, so I'm not doing kind of stereo stuff later. I did that for a while, and stereo cables are a little finicky. Like I had them fail on the road, just like being crushed in my suitcase.
And then if you need to find one, it's a pain, but you can get a regular TS
Cable.
jack
Yeah.
anywhere. So I can remember days of people like, bless him, Eric Roach, who's a friend, and other guys who do the tappy slappy thing. You've got a...
Happy Gilmore playing, I like to call it. Give it a little tap, tap, taparoo. Sorry, Mike Dawes, but,
Well, Mike is a great example. Again, they might not be there now, but they've been through the mill of this like super multiple source.
Yeah.
But you've got one.
So just a
cable.
mono output, and so essentially what I've got in this guitar, it's just a Seymour Duncan pickup system, which is called. I think it's called the Wavelength Duo now.
Yeah.
It was originally designed as a D-tar system.
Yep, remember that.
Duncan-Turner-Acoustic Research.
Cool. Blimey, man.
Yeah. So, and what's cool about this system is so it has a preamp inside and batteries inside.
Right.
It runs at 18 volts on 2 AA's, which are voltage quadrupled somehow.
Charge pump of some kind.
Yeah, which is on the battery casing. It has a microphone inside it just here, which I'm trying to see if I can...
I'll pop
looking
a
at
camera
it,
in
but you
there
can
in a
kind
minute.
of see it there
Yeah.
anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Tiny little guy hanging there, and controls are mounted on this same thing.
Yeah.
And so this system comes with a microphone and an undersaddle.
Yeah.
Now, undersaddle pickups, I really dislike. That's kind of the simple thing. I also played a fan fret acoustic for a number of years.
Of course you did.
And because of the angle of the bridge and the lightness of the top of that particular guitar, if I bent a string, it was enough to unseat the saddle and cause this huge pop through the PA system.
Okay.
So we're getting, crazy.
Well,
technical now.
you're dealing with a thin piece of piezoelectric film. That's what it is.
Kind of, yeah.
And it's under considerable pressure.
Yeah.
And it's super high impedance.
Yeah.
And anything you deliver to that
Yeah.
saddle is going to get amplified.
Yeah, that's
in a
the
crazy
idea.
way.
Yeah.
Hence the quack, right? We talk about the quack.
Yeah. And it's basically the piezo's failing
Yeah.
to an extent, especially in the top end, and just the fact that you're hearing the guitar right at the bridge. It's the same as if you play with a pick on any guitar and play right near the bridge. That's what it's kind of hearing, the vibration at that point. So I don't know, it's the worst spot to hear a guitar no matter what. It's really difficult.
Yeah. No disagreements for me, mate.
So on this guitar, I basically have just got K&K soundboard transducers. So I tore out the undersaddle and soldered in K&K soundboard transducers instead.
Into the same system.
Into the same
D-side.
system, yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating. I use a K. So this is a Collings
C10.
C10. It's a beautiful guitar.
Yeah.
Rosewood back and sides.
No, mahogany.
Oh, it is mahogany.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? Top.
Spruce.
Yeah.
Sitka.
Some kind of
Sitka
spruce. Yeah, I've got a similar guitar, slightly bigger, a CJ35. Almost exactly the same colour. You've seen it before on the show, and that, to finally get to the point, has a K&K Pure Mini.
Yeah.
And I dig that system just as it is. It's
I wish you'd brought that guitar. That would have been cool to kind of hear.
Yeah.
So
I'm such an idiot.
here's what happened with this. Now I didn't know this before I did it, and so the way to kind of remove those sort of quacky things, and John Smith has been on the show talking about it a little bit, is often with crossovers, because you want to hear different elements from different points. And so the problem always with any pickup mounted here, even with the soundboard transducers, is that you've still got this plasticky-quacky attack, but it's in the top end only.
Yeah.
If you roll off the top end, it's a lot easier to handle. And then you add something for the treble frequencies that responds better to that.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's just a kind of simple idea. So the Cole Clark systems do that. They actually have a three-way thing where they have that giant, sort of palithetic pickup through the bridge. They put a what they call the face brace, a soundboard transducer on the top here, and then they do a microphone on the back of the preamp, and they're three-way crossovered. So it's the bottom end comes from here, the mid-range comes from here, the top end comes from here. Similar, you know.
Yeah.
Likewise, the LR Bags Anthem does that. So essentially, the idea is that you roll off the top end of the bridge pickup, and then that plate microphone takes the top end.
Taylor went to town on it as well, didn't he? They even went as far as putting a magnetic pickup under the fingerboard in the early ES.
I think they just did different sources.
Yeah,
so it was
soundboard transducers here, I think.
Well, they had a magnetic pickup embedded in the neck,
Yeah.
and then they had a soundboard transducer here, but they just mixed them.
Oh, did they?
But that was like this crazy oil floating speaker soundboard transducer.
I had one in a 714 CE, and it sounded. I did at least 800, maybe hundreds of gigs on that guitar.
Lots of acoustic guitar players hate them.
Yeah,
but I always really liked it. But it sounded more like an archtop. It's kind of.
Yeah, I'm never a huge fan like the Sun Bear. Is it called Sun Bear? What are those pickups?
The Sunrise.
Sunrise, thank you.
Yes.
The magnetic soundhole pickups. And I always think that's a step towards an electric guitar sound.
Yeah, which is
fine. The Slide guys like it.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, it just senses the string from a different point, so it's a little bit softer and easier. Yeah. But,
so is your preamp adjustable then in terms of where that crossover happens?
No. So here's what happened. Now, this is happy accident stuff from this point of view before we get into EQ and phase alignment and that sort of thing, is that when I added the K&K, so the microphone in these systems is high pass at 500 hertz. So that there isn't bottom end on that microphone other than that. I can't actually show you just the microphone, unfortunately.
Yeah, because you can't separate it.
I can't separate it. But I can show you just what the K&K does in this guitar. So what happened is there's some sort of impedance mismatch in the preamp because it was meant for an undersaddle. So there's no top end in the K&K on this system.
Oh, so there's your happy accident.
So there's my happy accident in this particular thing. So I go back to it being on. So this is just the... into the preamp, I should say.
Yeah, it's not hateful, but it's kind of muddy.
Yeah. So then I add the microphone, and that gives me. And it's completely live.
Yeah.
Hello.
Actually, that. Just speaking into the microphone, you can hear that there's no bottom end on it.
Yeah. It really does. Although it's body resonance then, and there's all sorts of bonus things going on. But yes,
that's really cool, man. That is really, really cool. And what you're hearing, just to confirm, just to make that clear, is Adam's guitar, a mono out. It's going into this pre,
the Grace DI.
And that is going straight DI into our recording system. Depending on what happens, I might mix some room mic in because on the floor we've got two LD Systems 12-inch monitors. I want to say thanks to LD Systems for sending those as well. We needed some wedges for the studio, and they very kindly sent them. So I'll see, because the next conversation, I guess, is about, well, number one, what's happening in the Grace, but number two, how you deal with phase
and feedback. Yeah. So the problem is then, I'm just going to mute this so we don't hear me talking back through the guitar all the time, so this guitar, the way the system is, and I'm not sure if it'll do it today, I didn't check it when we set it up, but it's very phase dependent. So the way as soon as you've got soundboard transducers, thing like K&Ks, actually really any acoustic guitar, it doesn't really matter. One of the problems is you plug it in and it starts feeding back like crazy. It's going woo, that sort of thing. And people go to attack it with EQ. But I'm going to say it's like 90% of the time, it's the phase relationship to the speakers. So that's like your relationship to wherever the sound is coming back at you from.
Yeah. And as a result, a fair few kind of preamps that you'll find in guitars will have a button that says phase on.
Yes. Yeah. And where most people get confused is there isn't a right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, because people go, oh, so I push it in. And it's like, no, you have to check it every time you get on stage. That's kind of where people get confused.
Yeah.
Because it's, one night, because you don't know how everything's wired through. You guys talk about phase and things on here enough, but, the PA can be wired reverse phase, or you just never know. For a long time, I ran a K&K and a DPA 4061 mic inside my guitars with a stereo cable.
Wow.
But yes, you had to check the phase alignment between the two sources and then the phase alignment of the output later.
And then you need a very understanding sound engineer.
Well, that, or you need to have control of it yourself is
Okay.
probably more the reality.
Yeah, yeah. So how do you deal with it then?
So with this, on the Grace, let's go. Phase is just here. There's a little button in the top. There we go. Perfect.
Wow.
Done.
I thought that was going to be a difficult demonstration. It was literally the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, so that's how crazy it can be. Like,
So the next question is, do you find it sounds better in one phase or the other?
at first, you think it does.
Yeah.
I don't think it does. I think it's very psychoacoustic.
Yeah.
Like you can go, oh, wait, the phase is...
Well, you'll probably perceive more bass, or in certain, when you're messing around with phase stuff, you can perceive more bass. And that, a bit like being louder, it just immediately sounds better, but not necessarily.
Yeah, it's not, you've kind of got to go one way or the other. I've never been in a situation where I think it being on the verge of that feedback will be better.
Yeah. And have you found it, from venue to venue, it can be one or the other?
Yeah, it doesn't matter which it is.
That.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating.
You've just got to check it every time you plug in. I didn't check it today. It just happened that whatever the last gig was, the phase button was in on my preamp.
I hope you got that.
Yeah.
Adam held the guitar. The phase was the other way around.
We can do it again. It's crazy.
There's no trickery there.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah.
Yeah.
And as you say, the temptation is to leap for parametric EQ.
Totally. Or like notch filters, and they actually then shift that phase again. So you start shelving out bass frequencies at a certain point, and then you change that phase relationship.
Yeah.
And then you just run into trouble. So like before you do kind of any EQ,
try the phase.
Yeah.
So this is an acoustic guitar specific preamp, is it?
It's an acoustic instrument specific preamp.
Okay.
So, Grace make really high end mic pre's, but they're really enthusiastic acoustic guitar players, and they just wanted to build something that wasn't available.
So including things like mandolins and
banjos, anything that's acoustic, upright bass, that sort of thing. So this is a single channel one. They also do one that a lot of people use called the Helix, which is 2 channels, which is what I used to use when I was doing stereo. But this was, since I've gone back to mono, this is kind of all I need. But it allows a lot of control over fine tuning of things.
Kind of interesting. I mean, if you look at the controls on it, it resembles what you'd see in a high-end channel strip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you've got gain in a high pass filter or a notch. You can switch it to be one or the other.
Yeah.
I have it set up as a high pass filter because, like I said, the notch does strange things, but we can do it and see what happens, which is cool. A full parametric mid EQ, just bass and treble, and then boost for if you want to go louder, but that is complicated as well when you're talking about sending gain signals down to mixing desks and that sort of thing because you're sending more gain. And then it's got a separate amplifier out, which is what we're hearing through that today. We're controlling that through there. So it allows a lot. And then in the effects loop, I have this reverb.
Okay, that's what's doing the reverb, which does sound really lovely.
Yeah.
Do you, from venue to venue, do you vary the amount of mic?
No.
It's just the same?
I kind of, so for me, I'm not trying to run effects on my acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
I consider the acoustic guitar, it's finished. I'm not trying to do delays.
Yeah.
Like reverb is it. Like I want to just put it in a little bit.
Very nice.
A little bit of a room, maybe, and pending the song, I might just add more or a bit less.
Yeah.
But I'm don't do anything else. So it's very minimal from that point of view. And when you are running a system like mine with so it sounds very, as natural as I can probably find. I haven't heard another guitar sound this.
I was really
like the guitar.
We set up and I just checked that we were recording and everything was going to where it needed to go into the recording system. And I was like, man, that actually sounds really decent.
Yeah.
Even as a DI.
Yeah.
Not even getting any of the acoustic.
The space in the room.
Yeah, from our floor monitors here. And then, okay, so the next question I would have is, what about dynamics in playing then? Because if you're like strumming the guitar and that's what you do, and you strum with a light pick and that's what your set requires, you have a limited requirement for dynamic room in your sound.
Yeah.
You play very dynamically. How does it deal with all of that?
It's complex. And so that's your problem with acoustic pickups in general, is that if you tap the bridge on most of them, a K&K pickup, for example, without a preamp, will easily shoot a 30 dB spike.
Right.
Just doing that.
Just doing that.
Yeah. The impedance mismatch, that happy accident that happened in this, has seemed to roll that upper dynamic off, which is part of the bonus. So it's not kind of doing that, but I'm trying to look at the computer over there of how...
I can tell you it's a fairly significant...
Yeah. So even though, like, I'm trying not to talk, wait. Just doing that is still louder than playing hard. So, it's not really that controlled. There is a transformer in the DI, which I always like rounds things off nicely a little bit as well, and I think helps a bit. But, then some of it really comes down to playing.
Yeah.
Like for me, and like my experience is that any sort of compressor on an acoustic causes more issues unless it's really good.
Here's your compressor.
Yeah. Like, so, for me personally, I'm always just working dynamically within the instrument and know, I've literally developed techniques to avoid this thing.
To get around it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, if we're talking playing for a second.
Yeah, please, let's have a listen to how this comes together.
So one of the classic things with acoustic guitar is to do the slap.
I can hear it coming through the mic. Yeah, your voice coming through the mic. Yeah, the slap. Yeah.
So you like. Now the problem with that is that it's sending out that peak every time I do that, and also because it's there and it sounds like a kick drum.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying on 2 and 4.
Yeah, right.
It's like in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
So
you want it to be a snare.
Yeah. So like, especially studying like Charlie Hunter so much as I've done.
Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Charlie.
I believe we're welcoming you to the UK soon.
Hopefully.
Come here. Just move in.
Is that you can... I worked out this way of starting to downstroke on 2 and 4 instead of having to create that sound without having to hit it all the time. So you get that you get that feel without the boof.
Yeah.
Of the bottom end coming through. And then if I'm playing something that's more intense, like, let's do... So it's implying that drum groove, but it's not doing, because if I did it the other way, and this may clip the recorder, but we'll see what happens. I can't even do it anymore, but
Yeah.
I've trained myself out of it. But it was to avoid that constant boof on 2 and 4, which started to drive me insane when I was playing and then when I'd hear other people do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not the right place. That's super interesting. So it is a back and forth. We're acknowledging the fact that amplifying this thing, like go back right to the top of the show, amplifying this thing in the first place is a compromise.
Yeah.
So expecting perfection and expecting to be exactly as you are when you're sat on your sofa at home.
Yeah.
Not realistic.
Maybe not entirely realistic.
How do you feel about just handing a cable to the out front sound person without any of this?
Well, I freak out. Yeah. And, so much of what I do is about building a relationship with the sound guy of like, hey, I know how you would normally treat an acoustic guitar, but can we start with leaving all the bottom end in?
Yeah.
Don't put a high pass filter on. Please do not add treble. Please do not put a compressor on it.
Yeah.
And if we could hopefully start from there, we can go. And usually, for me, if that happens, this front of house guy only has to turn up the volume. Because then I will catch little jumping out frequencies in a room with this preamp.
And you catch it there at source.
Yeah.
And that's the lesson in human communication, isn't it? Because just as a bit of general advice, and Adam will know this better than anyone, the last thing you ever want to do is tell a sound engineer what to do. So you just need to kind of encourage them.
A gentle, it needs to be like a good friendship. And but that's a huge part of playing acoustic guitar, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
And that's when, I started resorting back to just playing electric guitar because, so this system is very volatile. Like as you said, you can hear us talking through it as we're going. If I'm on stage with a drummer and a bass player, that all comes through this guitar. So it's not like the be-all and end-all thing for every situation.
So that's the guitar you would use for solo acoustic performances, but maybe if you're playing an electroacoustic in a band, you might choose a different guitar?
Yeah, and that's when I said like going for like the Maton, which is a little, has less movement at the bridge. It still has a microphone in it that I can use, but it's a little less volatile in the bottom end. Like that phase thing that happened with this is not as pronounced with like the Maton. Or, then you add the plug.
That's what I wanted to ask. And they actually work, do they, those things?
They do. It'd be really interesting to hear if you hear any difference in the DI sound. I have a little bit. Obviously, it dampens the top of the instrument.
Well, it's also a physical barrier between the strings and the microphone.
Yeah, but let's play it quick.
It's extremely clear to me.
It's not a... Yeah.
I tell you, I'm hearing, with it in, I'm hearing a much flatter, less complex... Now...
Yeah, true.
Let's say, it might also be that I can hear the acoustic sound of the guitar.
Yes.
And so I'm not getting what's coming out of the sound hole. But there seemed to be a lot more complexity in the low mids especially that was coming out of the sound. Either it was coming out the sound hole or it was coming out of these speakers, and the audio will tell the story. Are you perceiving anything from
Well, I hear the bottom end tighten up.
Yeah.
And then the guitar physically changes because you're dampening the top of the guitar.
Not resonating as much.
Yeah. But to be honest, I would say more than half of the time I play live, I have this in.
Do
I like the way it tightens up the mid-range frequencies a little bit, and you're hearing, and it does make it a lot less susceptible to like slight movements. So with this guitar, with the microphone in it, if I did tilt this way, we won't do this, but it did squeal before. Like it's a condenser mic pointing at a tweeter, and so this avoids that. I think I'd have to jam it right in to make that happen.
And I guess all of these problems that we're talking about all get worse the louder you get.
Totally. Yeah. So you just keep going up. But it's, like Tommy Emmanuel uses a feedback buff start all the time. It hardly ever leaves his guitar even. He's used to hearing it acoustically with that in. But yeah, when you're at a certain volume, it kind of works. And depending on the pickup system, a lot of them do sound better. Like the Matons do seem to sound better with it in, even with their microphone. It's very high pass in their guitars. Like I think at 1K.
Oh wow!
And so it's the mic, and you can hear the mic by itself in that, and it just is like.
Yeah.
It's very. It's all just the top end.
All the tops.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Can we just hear a little bit more of you playing before we move along? We're going to talk a little bit about electrics.
Yeah.
Just have a quick flick through Adam's electric rig and yeah.
Cool.
We'll
play something quick. All right. This is I Didn't Know What I Would Be.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'll say it again. I'll never get tired of your groove, man.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so when you leave Newcastle upon Pacific,
Yes, that's right. Yep.
and you get ready to go on tour on your own, what does your luggage look like?
Yeah. Stressful.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially, touring on my own. I should probably tour with only one guitar.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing a mix of solo and trio shows on this tour, which is 5 weeks long.
Right.
So through the UK and then the US. So I basically just have, 2 guitar cases, a backpack filled with laptop, camera, social media gear, like recording things so I can capture gigs and post them. And then my suitcase is filled with vinyl, CDs, some clothes, one extra pair of shoes, and then all of this stuff.
It's not 1974 anymore, kids. There's no private jet. There's no top floor of the Hilton.
No. And it's all got to be under, 23 kilograms or 50 pounds.
So that necessarily means taking a big board is out of the question.
Totally, yeah. And now I've never used a big board, or I haven't for my own music for a very long time. But I've always used like this sort of size board, the little mini, nano, whatever. But it meant that then I would have to also take an amp sim of some variety for when I did need to go direct, because sometimes I would turn up and there is no amp. I'm very lucky a lot of the time. People do bring me 2 rocks to play. Like, I don't know.
Adam has a long relationship with Two Rock, which is why that one is set up today. Yeah,
but so there is that opportunity, but it just means like it's just an extra thing you got to have and power. And but I couldn't fit it if I put it all on one board. Yeah. So this is my first time traveling without my little board, which was usually like a Free the Tone overdrive, a Vemoram Jan Ray, a Chase Bliss Mood, and the Flint. Yeah, you had something very similar to that. Well, that's what I had. Yeah, last time you were here. Yeah. So, so this is my first time traveling without that, and it's hard, and I'm already a little upset about it, to be honest. No diss to Line 6, but I've achieved to put most of the stuff in this pedal. So the electric side of this is just here. Yeah. Yeah. So when you're going into an amplifier, somebody's provided you with an amp, you've got an overdrive and then a whole bunch of stuff in HX Stomp. Yeah. Do you do looping in a Stomp as well? I've worked out ways to do the looping. So it's kind of like the mood that I was doing with it. I can't do like the more extensive sort of stuff I was doing here last time. And like the Bill Frisell sort of inspired sort of thing without extra MIDI additives to this. Yeah. And so I did get a little MIDI attachment for this just before I left home. And one, I couldn't get it to talk in time because I spent about 10 minutes on it. And 2, then I was like, well, now that's an extra thing. And the whole point was to not have extra things. So I've compromised with this in many different little looping ways. But it's kind of cool what it's created, I'd say. So like the main one I've done here is kind of a semi-instant reverse background loop. Okay. Which is something I use a lot in a lot of my songs. Very inspired by, Mr. Bill Frisell. By Bill, yeah. We had him on the show, right? Oh, I know. I watched it. It was great. That was a big day, I have to say. Yeah. Bless you, Bill. Yeah. So in the HX, so right now all I have is I have some extra reverb going because I forgot to switch that off. There's reverb in the amp and reverb there. But I usually do that. I usually add some extra with the Flint. Yeah, more reverb, more good, right? Something like that, yeah. So this is the HX Stomp. This is it, totally bypassed. So a little less reverb. It's not too bad, but it freaks me out being converted to digital all the time, I will say. Needs must. Yes. Yeah, let's not get into it. I'm more interested in your experiences with it. So things I've got in there. Yeah.
I just need to
Do you need a cough?
enthusiastically.
I know, I saw it.
God, Bob Fleming, that's not normally me that does that.
I did it mid-gig the other day. I was like in this quiet song.
Because I breathe
Trying to hold it in.
Drinking my water. Anyway. Tremolo, that sounds really nice. And that's a tremolo that's modelled in the HX Stomp.
I think it's just the tremolo. And I don't know what... I did all this really quick just to see if I could make it work, and I'm pretty happy with where it got to.
Yeah.
And I just adjusted something in the way the slope works so that it would sound like the Flint.
Yeah.
Essentially, I just wanted it to create that. There's something uneven about the pulse.
Yes, definitely.
It's not just like wah wah wah. There's like a woo, woo. There's like a little ramp to it, and so.
And is on that orange switch, it's always tremolo?
Depending on the preset, but yes.
Okay, so you have different presets.
I have a couple of different presets for different songs now, because to try and take advantage of the fact you can have everything.
It's all in there, yeah.
Yeah, but this is what I would have on for 98% of one of my gigs.
Okay.
Yeah. So the trem. Then I do have an overdrive, which I did program in case I didn't want to take an overdrive at all.
Yep.
And it's okay. Is it this?
I'm super interested in the recorded sound because you make your mind up. My mind is made up. Now, you can adjust everything. Of course you can.
Yeah.
And there's certainly a bit more upper mids and top end coming through in the Frida tone.
Yeah.
I'm just hearing more life from the guitar. Actually, I do have a tangential question.
Yes.
How microphonic are your pickups?
They've got a little bit to them. I guess if it was gainy.
Right.
Yeah.
I just got a guitar with mini humbuckers for the first time, and they're super live.
Yeah, wow.
And I didn't know if they were all like that. They're not.
Well, generally new ones won't be.
Yeah.
I assume these are lightly wax potted. But...
I'll show you. Look.
All right.
Listen to this. Can I steal your
Let's do
cable
it quick.
just for 1 second?
Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Down and back. Yeah, wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, you could probably hear me talking through them anyway.
You can. That's amazing.
I didn't know if they were all like that.
I think mini humbuckers have a tendency to be fairly live.
Yeah, I mean, it's all part of the...
It's part of the sound as well. I know this, like, the bridge pickup will squeal a little bit and get, like, filtertrony when I'm playing a rock gig on this guitar. So, yeah. They're a cool pickup. So, yes, an overdrive in there. And then switch number... Oh, wait. That's got to go back up. Is my instant reverse loop. So, the line 6 has something in here called a shuffling looper.
Yeah.
Which does random things. I think it's their take on trying to do the glitchy, moody, all those things that everyone wants. So, but I worked out a way that I could get it that it would do a reverse loop straight away for me. So I have to hit record on this. With the mood, I could just hit play. Because it's constantly listening to your last 3 seconds.
Yes.
So I still have to hit record to start it, but it's like.
And that deletes it.
That deletes it and stops it, yeah.
It's a lovely aspect of Adam's playing. If you've listened to any of his music, you'll hear that theme recur.
Yeah.
The harmonics.
Yeah.
And then obviously you need to be relatively in key with those harmonics.
Well, you've got to find something that works through your key center. Oh, not always. It can clash as well.
Yeah. Well, tension and release.
Yes, of course.
That's what we're looking for, isn't
but
it?
it's just a great way to access that instantly. And that was one of the things I didn't realize I'd maybe be able to achieve on it.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, tools like that are so valuable to solo performer.
Totally. And just having that sort of little bit go through there. And, you know, because so much a part of my music, even when I'm playing with a trio, that's sort of, I have that sort of aspect going in the background and it just helps create, it's funny, like it fills space by creating space musically, I think.
Yeah.
So I play less.
Yeah.
Because I'm hearing that go just lightly in the background, and it's an amazing tool.
That's really cool. And how different do your presets get from there?
Not that different. So I'm not thinking I want to build every rig ever.
Yeah, right.
I'm literally just going, how do I make my 4 pedals, and if I need to, play direct. So I don't even know what I've programmed. Okay, so this one is a different one. This is, I think I might have played this on the last episode, but this is a song from that album Gallery, which then ended up recording on the next album called Timing. And so the thing about this is I play a loop that I play over. It's like a traditional sort of looping thing. But at the end, it goes up double speed and up the octave.
Right.
Which is something you can do on a DL4.
Yes, yeah.
Or a timeline with a MIDI controller and a bunch of looping pedals. And apparently in this as well, if you trigger it via MIDI, there was no way to do it. You couldn't program the buttons internally on this to do it. So I found a way in this shuffling looper that I could trigger up the octave at the end. However, this is compromising. I can't layer the loop. You only get one shot at the loop.
Right.
So usually when I play this song, I like had a staccato thing going first, and then I'd play.
Yeah.
And then I'd actually add a little harmonic thing over the top. So I can't add those 3 layers. I can only do it in one. So now to play this song, and this is probably going to freak out as well for a second because I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Because digital.
Yeah, right.
So I've got to play it like it's... Because it means I've actually got to play the guitar then.
Yeah.
It's less loopy because
as opposed to all your tricks.
Well, yeah, I'm a little bit of both because I've worked so long trying to play all this stuff at once.
Yeah.
Then to not play it all at once feels like cheating. Yeah. Okay, so it's like, what have we got? And now for some reason, because I did reverse before, it wants to play it in reverse even though I've changed the preset.
Okay.
And then it normalizes. Now I screwed that up because my foot's up on the table trying to do it. But then I have access to this to finish the song. And I don't know why it doesn't play the whole bar completely either. But it's still a vibe. And then I fade that somewhere else. I can just do that with my foot.
Oh man. I mean, what a lesson in run what you brung. You've got to deal with it. And I suppose, does that add a frisson of challenge for you?
It's the challenge, but I think I always like that with the mood.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of when I first got the mood, I wasn't sure exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
Like when you push it, it's like, is this going to work? And that, I don't know, sometimes that inspires music better.
Yeah.
And, maybe as I play with this more and do perform with it, maybe over the next month, I'll find it indispensable for reasons that I didn't know. Or reasons that I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way, isn't it? You use the gear, and that's where we all were years ago when all this stuff wasn't available, and you had very limited resources, so you just had a bunch of stuff, and then you learned to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
There's something really valuable in that.
Totally. It's like, I remember my first delay pedal, like working out how to do all the harmonies on it.
Yeah.
Just by playing in time and go do it. Yeah. And it was like so cool. And I used to spend hours just doing these gross harmonies at different timing intervals. I think it helped me like learn how to play in time and subdivisions because you'd be like starting to play in different ways. Actually, I think, have I got a decent delay here? No, what's that? I don't know. Wait. Oh yeah, there we go. I think this is a pretty long delay. you just do that for hours, like when all you had was a delay pedal.
Yeah, teach yourself subdivisions.
Yeah.
Get baked and do it for 3 days in a row.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I used to spend ages doing that. So yeah, this is for a song called Exhibition, which was on Gallery, but it's become more of a thing since I re-recorded it on Timing, and I kind of took all the cool elements, and so with a trio. So I tend not to play it solo, but this allows me to get the sounds for that, which is this tempo delay. So that's there. And then it's got this gross thing at the end of this octave fuzz. So it's like...
That's cool.
So, it is kind of handy. Like, even with my other rig, the way I achieved that sound was I worked out a way to do an octaver on the mood.
Right. Okay.
Which actually has a thing. It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
And then the free the tone in fuzz mode. But it meant, halfway through the gig, I had to change all the settings of my pedals in real time. Whereas now I can just twist that there. But, we'll see.
It does it. It's cool.
It's interesting how, to make it work. But then also the bonus is I've got all this set up with a rough amp model of my, Two Rock sort of rig.
Yeah. So before we get to that, the limitation of what you can carry demands inventiveness, and it demands the gear. And I think there's great value in that. So we're gonna do this then. We're just gonna have a quick listen to.
We might as well.
It
could be terrible.
Yeah,
we'll see how it translates.
Yeah, and I'm as fascinated in this as anyone. Yeah.
So same thing, but with the direct sound on.
Yeah, I mean, so this before we demonstrate it, I guess number one is how do the sounds compare, and that's one thing. Number two, what's your experience of it, and if you're going direct, what are you hearing through wedges?
Yeah. So I guess, look, I haven't had to ever do a gig playing direct with a band, and I'm not sure how I would cope with that. I think I would personally really struggle because so much of the balance is off stage. I will play through anything. Although, I've used amp modelers into I actually have done it with a bass amp.
Yeah.
So I've had an analog modeler, not digital, but whatever, going into a bass amp. So I had a sound, but it was still coming back at me from behind on stage. Yeah. This is generally more from the solo point of view. Especially if I'm, switching from acoustic to electric, it's all coming out the same source and it kind of works. Yeah.
So scenario one, you've got an amplifier, the amp model in the HX Stomp isn't turned on.
Yep.
That's what you've been hearing, so we'll hear a bit of that. Scenario two, no amp, therefore turn the amp modeling in the HX Stomp on.
Yeah, cool.
Let's have a listen.
Yeah, so we're just going to pull that out.
Actually, can we do a before and after?
Yeah.
Can we just have a bit...
let's do it.
Maybe play something relatively similar.
Yeah, let's do it. The exact same thing. So that's the rig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad, man.
It's not that bad, and it feels good enough for me to play through, and it responds the same way EQ-wise. This is what is it? It's their Grammatico model in there. It's not like me IRing my
No,
two-rock or
yeah.
anything. With a ribbon mic, a Royer 121 simulation, a little bit back from the cab and offset.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And it's the same reverb, actually, that was going before.
Yeah.
Into the two-rock, and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so much has changed in this environment because we're now hearing it through FR speakers, doing a nice job. And the fact that they're spaced like this gives the whole thing a bit of space.
Yeah, and it's not stereo either. You're not hearing, we're just hearing mono.
Just mono. I think for me the problem comes when you step on a bit of overdrive, and the way FR handles overdrive is very different from...
Maybe, like, if I use the free the tone, like... I think it still sounds better than if you switch off the free the tone and go the center one. That has the digitally thing. So, you know, that's why I had to commit to bring in an overdrive pedal still.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going into an amp, having that there, and even going direct, if I want a bit of drive, even when I play solo, there are a couple of songs that I have just that hint of drive on.
Yeah, yeah.
In that kind of full range sort of thing where it gives it that.
Can we do that exact same thing back through the two-rock?
Yes. Now, I think I probably play a little different. Like where the push is. I can push harder into the overdrive pedal with the amp than with the direct of the HX Stomp. But that's, it's the same as when I'm playing acoustic. Like I know where the limits are. So you're kind of like going, okay, I know how to respond to this and make it work. So it's, it's about the gear, but it's about the hands.
There is so much wisdom in that, isn't there? Expecting, no matter if it's two guitar, like, I don't know, a Strat and a 335, or if it's a digitally modeled amplifier or an amplifier, you have to adapt.
Yeah.
You have to know what to do.
Yeah. I'm not expecting everything to work the same and feel the same way. And it takes me some time. Like, honestly, I plug straight into a two-rock here, home. Yeah. I don't have to think. Plugging the acoustic into these, I'm like, okay, how is this reacting? How is this working? Maybe even more so with the direct thing. Like it takes me, a song maybe to go, oh, wait, I'm pushing too hard. And especially I think when you're hearing things back out of monitors, it never feels loud enough.
Right.
Or like with the electric thing. I don't know, like... I guess that's...
I wonder if it's because the nature of modern FR and PA is that it's just so clean.
Probably. Like, I guess it's different if you're in in-ears. And I understand in that scenario because you would be hearing an amp mic'd and you're hearing the simulation of an amp mic'd. It's not that different. But when you're on stage, like I never play in in-ears, like that's just not my world. We don't play loud enough or have that scenario. But when you're hearing it coming back from those things, it never has that same give. Yeah. But that doesn't mean the audience hears that either. So it's all, it's just something you can get away with and a compromise that I make for, well, I can't carry a two-rock around, so it's that simple. Yeah, and doing it enough to really understand that. Because remembering it at the end of the day, it's about delivering your music to humans who need to enjoy it. Yeah, and just that it's all instruments. Like you forget that all of this is the instrument. The amp is the instrument. The preamp is the instrument. And you have to respond differently the same way you would pick up a different guitar and respond to it differently. Yeah, it's cool. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. We say thank you to Adam. We've got a little treat on the end of this for you. A little idea we had earlier on. With any luck, John Smith is going to come and join us. Hopefully. And these guys are going to play together because, music. Hopefully it's about music somewhere down the line. Yeah. And thanks so much for popping in again, mate. Thank you, man. Thanks so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to be the token Australian on the pedal show. The drugs are working. Yeah. Go to adammiller.com.au
adammiller.com.au. I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
I will try and get this out in time. When are you going to the States?
Thursday.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we might hit the end of Adam's American tour in terms of getting it out. Please go to that Pedal Show store. Thank you to our patrons on Patreon. We appreciate you guys massively. And to our preferred retailers, all the details below. Hopefully what happens next will be some music.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, one of the great things about touring and traveling is running into friends. And one of my dear friends and favorite singer-songwriter, guitar players, everything people happens to live nearby, the incredible John Smith. And we thought it would be great to play some music together. We basically had our own non-filmed TPS show at John's house earlier where we went through all our own gear. We should have done it on camera, but...
well, I said, man, if we were professional, we'd be filming this for socials or Patreon. And then you said, oh, yeah, but, you know, we're not. And then your phone went ding, and it was Mick.
Yeah, so maybe we should play a song.
Do you want to come in and do a song?
What's that guitar, John?
Oh, mate, this is my 1948 Martin 0018 that I picked up last year. I traded a load of things up and came away with this guitar, and I'm going through Adam's acoustic rig. I'm going through his Grace Alex, and I've got this little Neumann mic. So the simplest rig I've ever bought into the studio. It feels pretty good, man.
So good.
Yeah.
And Adam, you're playing the Huber through the 2-rock?
I'm playing the Huber through the 2-rock and my little abbreviated pedal boards. So, yeah. And what song are we playing, John?
We're going to play Lily from The Living Kind, which we played together about, 15 months ago in a little bar in Sydney.
Yeah.
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 So let's see if we can remember.
Here's the English version.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Forget who I am, refuse what I say, as I wander the plane of some waking dream today. It all disappears like a moon to the trees, never returns what he takes when he leaves. Time, the great deceiver, he said I ought to leave you, but I need you more than time will ever know. His shadow long upon me, but you have led me farther on, my lily in the valley of the moon. I broke like a wave, reaching out to the sea, eager to claim what was taken from me. Here I stand, looking back where I came, out across the fields and glowing, still and silent as my shame, and hope and all believing I've given too much life, redeeming every fear that leads me where I go. But you walked out before me, the light inside the doorway, now my lily in the valley of the chance to hold my lily in the valley of the rose. My lily in the valley of the rose. Of the